Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. Today we have a special guest, Ceylan Rowe. She's the founder of Fihri. And who is Fihri? Let's hear from her. Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into your life and into your organization. Learn what it is all about. It's about ending period poverty. Introduce yourself a little bit. How did you start your organization and how can we support you?
Hi, Suzanne. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Ceylan Rowe. I'm the founder of Fihri. I am on a mission to end period poverty sustainably. My story actually began several years ago when I was a commissioner for the MetroWest Commission on the status of women advocating for legislation for women and girls at the State House. I actually heard from 8th graders teaching 6th graders how to use toilet paper as period pads in Massachusetts. I was so shocked. How could period poverty be happening here in the United States, here in Massachusetts? We're a wealthy state. Oftentimes we think of period poverty happening overseas, but it really is happening here in our own communities. Period poverty essentially is the inability to afford or access period products. I was doing my master's, and in a class, I pitched this idea. And I then thought there was something really special here because one of my own children was starting their menstruation journey. And I wanted to make sure they had access to healthier and more sustainable period products. So I launched Fihri. We've curated period products, 50 period products that are more sustainable for the environment and better for a menstruator's body. Here's what I mean by that. So an average period pad will decompose on the planet for 500 to 800 years. One period pad, and in a lifetime, a menstruator will go through 11,000 pads. 11,000 pads, 500 to 800 years.
What statistics? Now we need to break that into a better future.
What we've done, what I did with Fihri as a mom who just cares deeply about the planet and my children, we've actually only used 99% of the companies we use are small women-owned companies. We have biodegradable pads. We have 100% organic cotton tampons and pads. We have menstrual cups that could be on the planet you could reuse them for 10 years, up to 10 years. They're very affordable. We have period underwear and reusable pads. There's 3 ways that we at Fihri try to end period poverty. One is through these period paloozas, which are period kit making events, and they're really fun. So organizations, school groups, businesses could come together for 1 hour, and we provide reusable pouches, and everybody writes inspirational messages and then stuffs them with these sustainable period products, pads, tampons, and panty liners. Then we donate them to a school or a nonprofit or shelter in need. We also have our student sponsorship programs. An individual could sponsor a student who can't afford period products. In the United States, 1 out of 4 students in the United States will miss school because they don't have access to period products. This is a huge problem. What I tell people is period poverty isn't a women's issue. It's a global issue. It's an economic issue. It's a human rights issue. Think about the student who misses school. Think about the impact that will have on their ability to learn in class, to do group projects, their ability to graduate or inability to graduate. And then what does that mean for college? What does that mean for their financial future? A lot of students rely on college scholarships. Let's take an athlete, for example. Mm-hmm. If an athlete doesn't have access to period products, how are they going to go to practice? How are they going to perform well? At Fihri, we strongly believe there isn't one way to menstruate. That's why in our pouches that we provide to students, there's a combination of different products. Oftentimes, people will use pads and tampons or pads and panty liners. We don't just send a box to students, we send them the right product for them. So they could say they want super and regular pads or tampons and panty liners. Whatever the combination is, we send to them. We have generous donors throughout the United States who have been sponsoring students. Then lastly is our newest program, which is a disaster relief program. Often when there's a hurricane or flood or tornado, rightfully so, humanitarian aid immediately goes to food and shelter. But periods don't end during a disaster. Periods are still an issue. So we want to provide the basic needs of a menstruator when they're menstruating during their period and they lost their home, they're in a shelter. We've been sending our period products, period kits, to over 12 different countries. We actually are putting a box together to send over to the Moroccan earthquake survivors. That's a little bit about what we do.
Wow. We need to digest a little bit. When we are in the first world, I'm just listening to you and I hear these statistics. This cannot be. How is that not more in the open? Why is it women? We have to just be quiet about this topic. There's so many questions. I don't even know where to start to ask you. I want to congratulate you for taking the initiative and doing the work. And we need more of you. If somebody is in need, can they just send you a message, or how does that process work?
Yes. So individuals could email us on our website and then they let us know that they're in need. And we have donors, just generously sponsors who will send money. We kind of pair the two. Everybody's anonymous though. We don't give any specific information about the child or the donor. We'll just tell the donor that you have a student in Boston or you have a student in DC or you have a student in Chicago, wherever. And we'll let them know if it's middle school or high school. There's been reports done that as young as third graders are getting their period and can't financially afford period products. Imagine a third grader struggling with this problem here in the United States, in Massachusetts right now. This is a large issue. You could definitely go on our website, wearefihri.com, to be a sponsor or if you're a person in need.
Those donors, these are private people, or are these also organizations? Sometimes we have organizations focusing on SDGs. Are these organizations or mostly private donors?
For the student sponsorship, it's been private donors, very generous donors. For period paloozas, usually on college campuses or student groups. So we just did one at Mass Bay. We've done one at Dana Hall. We've done it at Babson College. We've gone to different schools, Algonquin Regional High School. We actually are teaming up with the Girl Up clubs, with the Algonquin Girl Up Club and also the New England Regional. We have period paloozas going on with them. One will be given, the donations will go to Refugees in Need in Boston and in Massachusetts, and then the other will go to Girls in Goddess. We're very fortunate that actually Turkish Airlines is one of our sponsors. We'll send our period kits overseas.
I'm lost for words still here. When you go, let's say, to Babson College, what is the reaction or what questions do you get from the population that you're meeting?
People don't know that this is an issue. It's a very private issue. People think that they're the only ones. And I just want everybody to know that no, there's actually a lot of people who struggle with this. The more we talk about it, the more we take away the stigma and offer more solutions. Babson College is one that offers free menstrual products now on their college campuses in certain areas. There's this movement to have more free menstrual products at schools and college campuses, which is a great movement. It's completely needed. But periods aren't just at school. We need to make sure that they're available and accessible in public bathrooms and women's shelters. There's a piece of legislation in Massachusetts called the IM bill. It has not passed yet. Hopefully it will, and it needs to be funded if it is passed, but it would mandate free menstrual products for schools, women's shelters, and women's prisons. The reason why it needs to be funded is schools are telling us they can't afford it. We need state funding to actually for schools to be able to provide the free menstrual products.
You were also talking about sustainable products. How can you compete with the big companies who just produce any product? Where do we start with that?
Our period paloozas, we will only use, again, like these small women-owned companies that are really have taken the initiative saying, look, enough is enough. The planet matters, your bodies matter. I will tell you, as somebody who's used the big brands my entire menstruation journey up until I launched Fihri, there is a huge difference. And for some, it is a better experience once you get used to it. I think 100% organic cotton pads feel better. Just all around, it's a better experience personally for me. Once people started using these products, the menstrual cups are our number one sellers for college students. People are so curious about these period underwears. But at our period paloozas, I'll actually bring our products so that people could touch and feel and see what it's like, because people are curious, as they should be. The period product industry has not been innovated for decades, up until I would say the past maybe 5 years, where there's an introduction of period underwear. Reusable pads are very popular overseas in more rural areas of the world. 38% of the worldwide market are actually using menstrual cups. Tampons are only 7% of the worldwide market. They're more popular in the United States and in Europe, but less popular in other areas of the world. I'm really excited right now because there is more funding as investors are paying attention to this, but there are starting to be more funds to startups who are trying to be more creative in how we tackle period poverty and just menstruation in general. For example, in Kenya, there's a company that is creating biodegradable pads out of banana fibers, which is really exciting to see. In Europe, a company is in the process of using tampons from seaweed. And so I'm curious what that's going to be like. The younger generation is really I just find my children's generation so fascinating and just dynamic and exciting. I can't wait for them to really continue to push this movement of we deserve better, we want better. I'm all for it, and anything that Fihri could do to help in that, absolutely count me in.
We're here for you and we're here with you. What is your wish for 2024? How can we support you? Where can we get all the good products and inform the people more so?
Oh, thank you. I hope in 2024 that we could host more period paloozas. We could educate people more about period poverty, and we could send more products during a disaster. This particular program is near and dear to me because when I was a senior in high school, the summer before I was a senior, I was in an earthquake that killed over 17,000 people. And having survived that, I really wanted to kind of dedicate my life to doing good in whatever capacity that looked like. And so my journey, like many women, particularly mothers, it was not a straight path. I launched the disaster relief program because I know firsthand the need that women have when they've lost everything. I hope we could build that program. I hope we could send more products to more areas in need. That's my wish for 2024.
We're getting there. We need to find other people to support your cause. And how many employees do you have? It seems like you're organizing events, or who are your helpers behind the scene?
We're definitely a startup. We've had part-time help, some great college interns, high school interns, and just last month we launched a high school global ambassador program with high schoolers, and so they're going to be hosting some period paloozas. It was back in March. We were selected for the Commission on Status of Women, the events that they host for 2 weeks during the month of March. We were actually selected and hosted a virtual panel on period poverty, and we had speakers from all over the world. And so I'm hoping we get selected again, in this youth program. These ambassadors help with that program. And I'm looking forward to really learning and also mentoring and getting guest speakers for the ambassadors too. We are a startup. We are definitely in need of anybody that would like to volunteer to either host a peer palooza or share your expertise marketing. Please go to our website and email us. Absolutely. We could always use more help.
Okay, good. We'll see to that. And I always have one final question. What do you do when you don't work? It seems like you're a busy person. You're helping others. How do you keep sane?
I really love helping people. I literally wake up and say, who could I help today? And so even on my spare time, which I don't, I'm a mother to 2 teenagers. I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. But even them, I love doing community service work with them. There's refugees, Haitian refugees that came to our community. I enjoy helping with that, volunteering with that. I genuinely love helping. So I'm part of the Northborough Junior Women's Club, but we host community service events. I don't like having spare time. And when I have spare time, so I was trying to do things. But I do love traveling. I have to say, traveling is near and dear to my heart because I really feel like we grow as human beings when we get to meet other people from other cultures, other places in the world, and we can recognize our similarities and learn from our differences. And so my family and I love to travel. And this summer we traveled to a few different countries, and I happily put Fihri's period kits in like different areas. I would go to a bathroom and just leave a kit with a little note in different places, in the parks and the benches and the bathrooms and stuff. So when I travel, I even love showcasing what Fihri does. And before we are done, I want to ask you who Fihri is, because most people don't know who she is.
I was on the website and it's a Moroccan woman. Did I do the research well?
Yes, nobody knows who she is, but everybody should know who she is. Her name was Fatima El Fihri, and she started the first university in the world. Not the first woman. She started the first university in the world in Morocco, and nobody knows who she is. She inherited money from her father and created this learning space. It's amazing, and it's still going, and she received a degree from her own university, and I hope to actually visit one day.
Let's put that on the wish list for 2024. Yeah. Everybody goes with a package of products and we can all go there and take pictures. Ceylan, thank you so much for all the insights to give us a glimpse into your world, but also to make this world a better world. I'm sure we find other donors and helpers that can help you in your journey.
Thank you so much for having me, Suzanne. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ceylan, for this wonderful conversation. Ceylan Rowe, the founder of Fihri. Did you know the story? How impressive is that? How can we help her? How can we support this organization? Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday. Don't miss out. Come and listen to inspiring stories. And also get the book, Take It From the Ironwoman, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Thank you for your support and see you next time.